Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Triple Bypass series to the NicholsOilPro.com series here for round 11 out at Kansas Speedway here this evening for the Corgi Bomb 1, or Corgi Airstrike 120 here on JP Broadcasting. And we commentator Hamish Munro joined once again, after a long while, Mr. James Parfitt. James, big night of racing. My series decided I'm talking to it. Well, I'm not. Technology, fantastic. But James, big night of racing. Round 11, we're only a few rounds away from the playoffs beginning, and Kansas is going to be a good test for these drivers, and they're going to have to be careful of some shrapnel heading their way as well.
Yeah, they definitely are, and there is some interesting things coming for a certain person within this series. They will be hopefully being delivered. I believe it has been delivered, so we will have a chat with the person involved in a little while. But yes, this is part of the Corgi Airstrike 120. If anybody knows what triple bypass is, you know what the Corgi Airstrikes are, and you know that if you've got one, you're being naughty. I received mine. Thank you very much to everybody involved. And somebody else is also getting theirs at the same time, pretty much, I believe, as we speak. So I will give them a minute, and then we will go and hopefully be able to have a chat with them to find out what was in their Corgi Airstrike package. It shouldn't have been naughty. Otherwise, you wouldn't have got one.
Well, I want to know how. I mean, you received one, James. What did you do that was so naughty to receive one?
I was naughty because of the fact that I had a podcast with Mr. Al Corey, and we may have mentioned or may have not mentioned some drivers within this podcast, and because of that, I ended up getting hit. That was it, basically.
Well, I'm glad that my address is not public knowledge, because
mine wasn't either.
Oh well.
Just to let you know.
Oh well, okay. Well, good luck to them finding it. Although that would be a very expensive airstrike, because it's going to be a lot more expensive to send it to Australia than it would be to the UK. But regardless, qualifying's underway. James, do we have the recap video of last week's race?
We don't have a recap. There is no recap from last week, unfortunately. But we do have the scores on the doors for you at this moment in time.
Yeah, so Steve McClendon, who's been pretty ultra dominant this season, he's been going for stage points. He's taken 2 wins on the board thus far. So it's on 298 points ahead of Brad Kress, who has been sneaking his way up the order over the last few weeks. Jared Jackson as well is up there, as well as Sean Bradley. Jackson would hope to get in, as would Kress, on their points. Obviously, the top 10 in points past the race winners get into the playoffs. So those two are looking pretty tasty for that. Same with Matt Harmon and Ben Harcum as well. William Emmett, Jeff Slaughter, Mark Herzig, Elton Wu for the top 10 in the championship. But the grinning's about to begin, James, here for Kansas. And I know that you're a little bit more of an oval aficionado than I am. Are you able to talk us around, or not around the circuit per se, but talk us about some of the little idiosyncrasies maybe of this circuit that could test the drivers here tonight, being that it's kind of a mid-sized tri-oval that a little bit similar to Charlotte, it almost seems.
Yeah, well, basically it's within that tri-oval package. That's the thing. Basically, it comes under a tri-oval, sometimes known as a D-oval. What they've got to contend with is bankings of 17 to 20 degrees in the turns, back stretch, 5 degrees, front stretch, 10 degrees. One of the things they've got to look out for, track's surface is asphalt. It will develop tire wear. They are going to have to be careful about that. One of the things going into the corners, they are going to have to lift. That you cannot go around there in a full flat as much as people would love to think they can. It's not going to be possible. So there's a lot for them to play with at this moment in time, and lots for them to get going with. So we'll see how they get on. Let's have a quick run through of the grid, and we'll cover on with that one. I am going to pull in the person after this. So yeah.
No worries. Chad Bear will start pole position alongside Mark Herzig on your front row of the grid. Matt Pericini and Tyler Merritt On the second row with Steve McClendon and Ben Harcum for your top 6. Piracini will be hoping to take a race win here tonight. That'll lock him into the playoffs in a couple of weeks' time. Al Corey starts on the 4th row alongside Jeff Slaughter for your top 8 with Morris Bogan and Dylan Freeman for the top 10. Matthew Aloka and Brad Kress will then make up the top 12 on the grid with Sean Bradley, Elton Wu in behind with Will Emmett alongside Elton, Matt Harmon, Keaton Crothers for your top 16, Matt Robinson, Matthew Epting, Tyler Rulis, Ward Fisher. Then for the top 21 cars with Jason Benson, Derek Catt, Tex Nichols, of course the series sponsor of NicholsOilPros.com, Ryan Hyatt, Kyle Dewey, John Campbell, John Crutchley. The Nodge will start ahead of Gary Wright and Brad Dalton at the back of the field.
Yeah, very much so as well. We are still under yellow. That does give me enough time to pull this young man into the booth. I believe he has just received a naughty boy package with the subject of don't mess with the corgis. Mr. Al Corey, welcome in.
Hey fellas, how are you?
How are you, dude? I believe you've just been airstruck.
Yep, second time this year I've been airstruck. I've got a healthy supply of Dr. Pepper at my front door tonight, and I wouldn't put a Dr. Pepper in my mouth if I was desperate in a desert.
What else did you receive, Al? Because there's something you got to wear, isn't there?
Oh, you know what? I haven't actually gone through the packaging. My wife just walked up to the rig and with an armful of Dr. Pepper and said, "You've been airstruck again."
Yes, I was aware it was coming, Al, unfortunately. I do apologise for that. So welcome to the Corgi Airstrike 120, which is the name of today's race.
You could have given me a heads up so my poor wife didn't have to carry all the Dr. Pepper in.
Where would the fun have been in that, Al? Where would the fun have been in that one? But listen, dude, I'll catch up with you a little bit later on. It looks like you're going to have a good one. Enjoy what's in the package. I do know what's in there. Have fun with that one, and I'll catch up with you later.
All right. Thanks very much.
Take care, man. So that was Mr. Al Corey. If one of the things you do want to know what is in this package, there is a tiara, of all things, for Al. So we'll see how he gets on. See whether or not he wears a tiara. That would be an interesting one, I think, on this. Why have I got yellow flags popping up on there?
Yeah, and why is lap 2 still under yellow because of this? Oh, unless they extended the pace car start
Give me
to allow us to talk to Al.
That could. There is a yellow flag out on track, which is really weird.
Yeah, I would say it's that they've called the yellow as soon as the race was supposed to start to allow the pace car to run extra laps. Is what I would claim at this point, just so we could have spoken to Al.
Yeah, well, there you go. So that's the situation. But yeah, lots going to happen. I don't know. Moving on. Whatever went on. It didn't like it. The timing software said absolutely bugger off. So there we go. That's what we've done on that one. But here we go. Let's see how we get on.
I'm getting threatened by Brad Dalton in my DM saying he's going to find my address now, so I'm worried.
That's all right, mate. I've got it on an invoice. Don't forget.
You do too.
I do.
Oh, I'm going to have to move.
I got it on an invoice. There's nothing to hide, is there? You can literally just reach out to me, and I already have it.
Yeah, no, definitely don't send me a slab of Dr. Pepper. Don't do that at all. It's not like I actually enjoy Dr. Pepper when I can drink it. It's calling another caution.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what.
There might be some there's some cars further back who are slowing up for whatever reason.
Yeah, the problem is there's nothing that's actually happening. They should have been green by all accounts. Jason Benson jumped to the pit. What did you do? You hit anybody? Hold on, I'm going to go backwards.
Did he find the Shadow Realm? Oh, we're going to pull the old sneaky rewind.
No, he can't see nothing. I don't actually know what he's done, to be bluntly honest.
Oh wait, no, he might have gotten the ping flag.
Maybe.
Eventually, if the longer you have the ping flag, it will just kick you to pits.
That is a possibility, but at the moment we're on lap 4. Oh, there we go. We haven't let you go anywhere.
Not the way we thought the race was going to start, let's be honest.
No, they are. Oh, Isaac Voss has just said there were some EOLs handed out from last race, and they are trying to figure that out. I think. Okay.
Okay.
So there we
All
go.
right. Well, we should be going green this lap. We've lost 4 laps in the Corky Strike 120, so that's fine though. That's okay. We'll make up for it later on. We'll have a good green period, I'm sure, as Tyler Merritt is blinking quite bad at the front of the field. Hopefully he doesn't get that ping flag and then has to be forced to come into pit lane. Hopefully that sorts itself out and he can keep on racing, of course. But traversing around towards the start-finish line of the tri-oval here at Kansas Speedway, Chad Bear, who's been... Well, he's had some phenomenal pace this season, James. I don't know if you've been watching back some of the races, but he has been on absolute fire. And he'll control the field at the start as we get green flag running at Kansas Speedway. Maximum pace for these drivers towards turn 1. But Merritt has rocketed off the line at the front of the field as well. So it's side by side through 1. Can they keep it clean? Can the field who scrambles in behind keep it clean as well? As we run up towards the back straightaway and they try and figure out any which way they can go. A bit of door banging between Piracini, new livery on that car this weekend, as they run through the final corner of Kansas. And the laps are going to go by quick and fast here, James. It's a fast-paced speedway. Not much lift is needed, but it's one that could cause absolute havoc and chaos if drivers get caught side by side.
Yeah, definitely. They are going to come down to, they've been dropping down sort of 10 to 15 degrees. It's going to be mightily hard to get around here. If they try and run this at full pace, they are going to be in trouble. And that's the thing. They are going to have to go down. It's just one of them. You see they're topping out at 180, 182, coming through the corner at 74, coming out the other side at 180. So there is a little bit of lift going on to try and get rotation of the car. But at the moment, Chad Bear out in front doing an absolute stellar job, flying along nicely, and we'll see how he gets on at this moment in time. But currently, it's all good for Chad Bear, doing his job, doing the thing. As you can see, laps led for 2. Currently first. He started in first, and he's staying there.
Yeah, he doesn't really seem like he's getting pressured too much, but Merritt wants to try and make it work on the lower line here of Kansas. I've noticed that Piracini, Harcum, and Crest, they must have been the ones who were responsible for the Corgi Airstrike, because they're all running a Corgi Airstrike livery on their cars this weekend here, James. So I'm going to assume they were the ones that pulled the money together, got all the little pieces to that package, and then got it sent over to Mr. Corey.
I can't answer where or when or how. I just know that this man may have been involved. This man possibly could have been involved. So they're kind of giving you a clue.
They very well, somewhat may have been involved.
Yes, somewhat, somewhere. That's all I can say.
Somewhat, a possible percentage of it could have been them. Who knows?
Yes, and I may have had something else to do with it as well, due to knowing about this a good few weeks ago. There we go.
Pre-planned, premeditated even.
Blatantly, there was not a thing about, there was not a bit about it. It was literally premeditated between us all.
Yeah, of course, it was a bit of a Chamber of Commerce thing between all of you trying to get this done. Matt Epting in the Los Pollos Hermanos car is trying to get a run up the inside of the 31 still entry here of Dylan Freeman. Nichols on that car as well. So I did mention last week with Jim that I do appreciate in NASCAR when they change the livery every couple of rounds. I don't know, it's just something about NASCAR that they often do, because there might be a new sponsor comes on board, whatever it may be. But it means that obviously they can. I'm a livery nut, so I love when drivers can be artistic in that sense. But like McClendon has had some all-time liveries this season. I think he had a Super Mario Bros. One a few weeks back. Last week he had a St. Patrick's Day livery as well. So it's really cool to see the drivers, having some fun and getting into some good racing. Is that battle pack up ahead? Oh, I am. I'm clenching at the thought of what could maybe end up with that battle pack, as Merritt has now taken the lead ahead of Bear, on board with Steve McClendon, championship leader, of course, in the 151. He has been on absolute fire, is the bookie's favourite for the championship at the moment. But anything can happen in those playoffs, James. He could get taken out in the first race, and all of a sudden he's gone and he's out of that opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. When you're looking at a series like this and you know there's playoffs involved, you kind of really want to make sure that you're involved in it. You don't want to make sure that you're stuck somewhere. You know, you want to be there. You want to make sure you're in the playoffs, and that's the thing I think for these guys at the moment. Where the hell are you going?
Well, remembering as well, this is the this is the final. Hang on, is that graphic actually a part of the NASCAR overlays? That's pretty sick. That's pretty cool.
Thanks.
Yeah, I like that. It's pretty sweet actually.
I'll have to give Biggles a shout out as well for that, because between me and Biggles, it was placed there.
That is pretty immense. That's pretty immense. So this, of course, though, is the final regular rounds. This is the final opportunity for drivers to get that playoff position. So for the likes of Piracini, who's been trying to get into that opportunity all season, they're going to have to fight hard tonight for this race win. McClendon's locked in. He's got some race wins to his name. Those other drivers who've got race wins next to their name as well, they're locked in too. It's the likes of your Matt Harmon, who wants to try and lock himself in. It's your Jared Jackson, who's not here tonight. So that's going to hurt him a little bit in terms of being able to get to that spot as we get a caution here. It's our first regular caution of the race, 11 laps in. What has happened? Who has gone off?
It's further back.
Yeah. I've noticed that Dylan Freeman is now laps down, but that was...
Oh, Slaughter's just come out of the wall.
Yeah. But that shouldn't have caused the caution, surely, because he hasn't gone round.
Thought so, but...
The only one I can really see who's gone a lap down at this point is Dylan Freeman. So he's the only one who I would say could be the one that caused it, possibly. Oh no, he's coming for a pit stop, that's why.
He hit the wall or something on the way in. Doesn't look like it. Strange why we got that. If anybody knows the answer, let me know. I will go hunting, but at the moment...
Oh, we're still on replay, actually. I just noticed.
Yeah, I was trying to just see if there's anything standing out.
Unless it's Jason Benson, maybe?
Maybe.
Is it the stage break?
At lap 13?
Surely not. No, it's not. Okay. I was
going to say, dude, no.
No, actually, no. We noticed then Slaughter hit the wall, but prior to that, I did notice he had a little knock on with one of those Corgi cars, so that might have been the incident, actually.
Yeah, apparently it was a Corgi on Corgi. Yeah, battle, but was the Corgi.
Apparently it was Matt Epting, according to Owen Tolentino in the chat. Very weird. Unless he's playing funny buggers with us.
Somebody in the wall. Runs past somebody in the wall up there.
Yes, that was the car that I think Jeff Slaughter got into. Yeah. So that must have been the one that caused the caution.
Yeah, I think it was Ryan Hyatt may have done that, but never mind.
Yeah.
Moving on at this moment in time, ladies and gentlemen. So there we go. Interesting scenario at this moment.
So of course, as we're saying, this is the final regular round of the season prior to the playoffs. So for the likes, as I said, of Piracini, who hasn't had a race win yet this season, he hopes to get one in to try and get himself in a position to race in the playoffs for the championship. I mean, looking at the top 10 of the title race, Jackson, he was 38 points behind McClendon. He's yet to have a race win, but he's not here tonight. So does that mean he drops out due to the point loss? I mean, that would be, after an immense season where he's been trying to stay consistent and stay up the front end, you'd have to worry a little bit if he were to get knocked out by not being able to race here this evening.
Yeah, I think he's just going to have to be aware of the situation in and around, isn't it? For him, he's just got to look at trying to, if he's in there, it would be bargain, but I'm sure he's probably got a good reason why he's not.
Oh yeah, for sure. I would say almost most definitely, but It then comes down to, can we get a race winner tonight that we haven't had yet to lock in someone who hasn't been in the position? Someone who's done the correct amount of races to get the playoff position, but can also get a race win next to their name to lock themselves in. We'd love to see it if it can happen. We're going to get green flag once again, though. Merritt's going to control the field ahead of Rulers, so it's a Tyler-on-Tyler battle at the front of the field. McClendon is with them, as is Bradley and Epting and Piracini and Bear. So Bear's dropped a little bit here, but he has come through pit road, as did Piracini, as did Bradley, as did McClendon. So is it a mistake from the gamepad extraordinaire Tyler Merritt to have not come in to do the pit stop and now tries to look on towards stage break? Although that's lap 45, so I don't even know if he's even going to be able to make that on fuel if there isn't a heap of cautions out on track, James.
Yeah, I think that's going to be one of the things they are going to have to look out for. Whether or not that's going to be possible, whether or not it's something that they're able to go and get there. I'd be interested to know whether or not they will get there, because I think at the moment it's going to be very, very tight, for them. They're sitting on 50% fuel without knowing how much consumption they've roughly got in that car at this moment in time. Merritt hasn't pitted either. Everybody else has pitted on lap 12. Chad Bear hasn't pitted. There's a couple of others that also need to be out of position. You can see we're on stage 1, 17 of 45. So we'll keep an eye and see what's going to happen here and whether or not these drivers are going to be able to get to the stage. I think it's going to be very, very close.
Yeah, I think they might need maybe one or two more cautions to make that happen. And even then, it's going to have to be major fuel save at that point. Oh, what a throwback that is in the 5 car of Elton Wu, the old 98 Kellogg's livery. I have a Hot Wheel of that car, James. I have the whole 98 season. Ironically, the year I was born. You were
born in 98?
Actually, no. I was born in 98, sorry. No, it wasn't Elton Wu in the race car. Who's in that Kellogg's car? Because they've got the custom 5 on the side of their car. So who was it that I just saw? It's a yellow, white, and red Kellogg's car. I think it was just in behind before. How the hell have we lost it now? There it is there, just in the top of screen.
Not 52.
No.
Herzog.
It's in behind. It's just in behind that battle.
Mark Herzog.
No.
The yellow one.
No, Mark Herzog. Yeah, no, it is yellow, but that's the in and out car. If you go 2 cars back, there it is there. Derek Cat in the number 1.
God,
there
you're
we
so
go.
fussy to this evening, aren't you? Well, you actually want me to put you on a direct car or what? Jesus. Anyway, we've got a yellow flag.
I can't go searching for myself. I'm not in this session.
Well, that sounds like a you problem.
It is a me problem. I wasn't willing to buy cans. Oh my god! Oh my god! Well, Jim Cunningham's going to be upset. His favourite car's been crashed out in the race. Matt Harmon, right on board with him at this stage. That is wild.
Wow.
And this is the kind of crash that I expected from Kansas, James. That is the kind of wild crash that I expected. It's fast paced, it's tight, it's so easy to get overrun with people around you. This is huge. I mean, oh my god, what has happened?
Why is he just over and over and over and over? It's really hard to decipher because unfortunately it does look like there was some dramatics taking place further up the front.
Yeah.
And that's the problem, I think, for Matt Harmon, who's in the 45 car.
That's not Al Corey, is it? It is Al Corey, yeah.
But you can see the Reeses come together, Elton Wu, and then he shoots that 36 straight up into the middle of the racetrack. And it's
that on edge car looked like it was traversing towards the left, and that's what's caused contact between them.
I think the problem is it's Morris Bogan. That's basically the car that I think shoots across the racetrack. There you go. But it's the contact with the 5 that sends him that way.
Oh no, definitely, 100%.
And then unfortunately, they do end up going off on that one. But heyo, what can you do? It is what it is on that one. But it does give us a good time.
Everyone's now come through pit road as well.
Yeah, there will be, and I would be very surprised. But let's take 2 seconds, guys. We're going to hear from Nichols Oil's Pro.
Whatever you drive, however you drive. AMSOIL specially engineers lubricants to maximize power, performance, and protection in your vehicles, so you can work hard and play hard with confidence.
I was gonna say, do you want me to send you the one I sent to Jim last week, James?
No, it's fine. It's fine. It just wanted to be a little bit more pedantic than it really needed to be blatantly honest with you.
Classic technology.
Yeah, it was. The thing is, when we do anything like, it all is working fine when you're in the wonderful world of a practice session. And then you go into the whole scenario of like, oh, let's go live and do it. And then all of a sudden it wants to spit its dummy at me. So
it wants to be rude. And it's just like, how dare you try and want this to work?
Yeah, how dare you deal with modern technology?
Exactly,
man.
You should be dealing with, mid-century technology, not modern technology. Come on. As the pace car comes in, Chad Bear has now got back the lead of the race as we get ready for green flag once again at Kansas Speedway. He'll lead Sean Bradley and co across the line to get this race back underway again. Lap 23 of 45 for the first stage, lap 23 overall in this race. The whole field has come down pit road. The top 11 cars are all those who pitted on lap 12. Then the other one was Tex Nichols, who's further back in the field, but he's had a good gain thanks to making that decision earlier in the race. Bradley and McClendon, though, side by side. Is that the championship battle that we're going to see in the playoffs in only 2 weeks' time after our week off next week? Because both of those guys are locked in. They're both race winners, and they've both been very, very pacey. It's the classic Chevrolet versus Ford battle in NASCAR. And I mean, it's a tale as old as time. General Motors and Ford often going to battle, and you can see Bradley is the lone Mustang inside of the top 10. The rest, well, are built up of majority Camaros, and the rest, there's only 2 Camrys inside of the 10 as well, of Harcum and Herzig. But back of the front, Bear and Bradley still in this battle. Piracini wants to get his first race win of the season to get himself into the playoffs. But it's going to take some fantastic fortitude and a lot of tenacity, James, because Bear's got pace, Bradley's got pace, McClendon's quick, as is Cress. Piracini's going to have to try and be the best of them all here tonight if he wants to get that win.
Yeah, he's going to have to try and get out in front. It's going to be not the most easiest thing for them at this moment in time. It's very difficult. You've got to just make sure that you're in and around, where you need to be. If you need to be in the top 10 of the point system, as McClendon, Crest, Jackson, Bradley, Harmon, and others, and Emmett, and Slaughter, and Herzog, Wu all are, you need to make sure that you're there. That's the thing. When you're doing something like this, you've got to look at taking the victory, but you've also just got to use your brain a little bit and realize that actually I've got to be here, and this is where I need to be, so I'm going to stay there. If they don't, well, it could just all go a little bit wrong.
It's almost, it's a quote that's said quite a lot, especially in modern racing. It's buy a ticket to the end of the race or buy a ticket to the playoffs. And for Piracini, he wants to buy that ticket, and he's had some bad luck over the last few weeks in trying to get that ticket locked in for the end of the race. He'd end up getting taken out, or a strategy play wouldn't go his way. Tonight is the last chance he has to buy a ticket to the end of the race and buy a ticket to a win and buy a ticket to the playoffs, because otherwise he's not going to be in the top 10 of the championship. For Bradley, he's already got his ticket. Bear already has his ticket, same as McClendon. So they're all there. They're all battling in the playoffs in 2 weeks' time. But for Piracini, I feel as if he misses out on the opportunity to battle for the championship, it almost feels like he's the best of the rest. Then it's like, the top 10 will be battling, for that title, but you'd feel he should be there because he's so quick and he's so good in this car as he goes for that low line now on Sean Bradley. So they are battling. Lap 29 to 120. So we're nearly a quarter of the way through the race already, James. Even with only a couple of cautions here, they're definitely going to make the stage end because they've all pit. But you can see how intense this is, how fast they run around these corners. I mean, 170 miles an hour around the corners, 182 down the straights. The cars have got an immense amount of speed, but you can feel every bit of weight in these NASCARs when you're trying to get them around a corner.
Oh, bro, you can. It's a thrill, and it's a death-defying moment all at the same time. You know, you can hear the slight little bit of a feather, and then he's off again. But yeah, it's so difficult, so difficult. I think that, you know, there's a class that people, as Europeans and maybe Aussies as well, that you sit back and you just think, it's easy. Full throttle, turn left. Full throttle, turn left.
I know it is not easy. Like the little nuances of driving these cars fast is immense. I mean, even at circuits we've seen this season, you know, Worldwide Technology Center, ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. 2 different corners of 2 different entry types, 2 different exit types. You've got to take 2 different mindsets to those corners. It's fast-paced racing. It's like being in a side-by-side battle down the straight of the Nürburgring up towards the final corner, but for the whole race. Like that is what it is like, and it is intense and it's difficult. And again, there's those little nuances, the strategy nuances as well. Extraordinary in how important strategy can be in oval racing and actually selecting when is the best time for you to pick, because it can make or break your race. Because depending on how many, when you take tires, how many sets of tires you leave yourself to the end, when you take your fuel, because obviously heavy fuel then heavily impacts the car as well. It is such a fine balancing act, and it's one that drivers who are really, really good, they're the ones who can master the balancing act. And the ones who are somewhat good, they've mastered it a couple of times, but again, it's those 100% drivers, and the other ones are the 99 percentile where they miss in that little 1% that makes them absolutely elite and at the front every single time we race. And it doesn't mean they're bad. It just means that they're that little bit lower.
Yeah, it's a difficult one, right? NASCAR in general is probably a good 70% luck. And it is.
Oh, yeah.
You know, without a shadow of a doubt. You can put a driver on these circuits and you can go, right, go, I want you to go in with Dega. Now, he may sit up front all night, and then that final lap, somebody might just go and punt him off. And that's where your luck comes in. NASCAR is something that while you're trying to manage the tires, while you're trying to manage the fuel, while you're trying to manage everything else, you're also trying to deal with other people's, other people around you, and we can't control other people. Let's not forget that. That's not within our remit of being able to do that. You've just got to rely that there aren't some stupid people in your race that's going to go and take you out. Because I've met quite a few of them, and that's the situation. They just do ridiculous things. You can get, as I said, you can get all the way to the last lap in the lead. Somebody's going to come and punt you off all day. And it's a horrible feeling, but it's a feeling that no matter what you do, you cannot avoid. Because people are at times stupid.
It's a control the controllable scenario, isn't it? You can only control so much, so you need to try and control your race as best as you can. Again, that comes down to your strategy and how you approach the race. You look at endurance race winners over time. If you look at IMSA and Porsche Team Penske, the first 2 races of the season, they've controlled the controllable. They've controlled their race. They've run their race. They've stuck to their strategy. And it's paid dividends because they've won both Daytona and Sebring at the start of this season. But then you look at other teams who have tried to, they've controlled what they can control, but then they just get that bad luck. Yeah. You think of Cadillac at Daytona. You think of,
Dude, you're talking.
anything else.
I love the fact that you're talking about IMSA and stuff like that. But talk to me about the trucks that happened at Homestead on Friday, or the
Well,
cup
there.
that took place tonight. You know, I'm not an IMSA fan. I'm not an
Oh,
endurance fan.
Oh, well, no, but just in like racing in general like that. Or if you look at Formula One and you look at round one at Melbourne, you know, Isaac Hadjar didn't even get the race started. He went on the warm-up lap, put the foot down at turn one, put it in the wall.
Yeah, but it's the same thing
bit
today,
of bad luck,
wasn't it, in the Chinese Grand Prix with Alonso and his brakes setting on fire? You know, I think the thing is, the difference is in iRacing and things like that, we don't get massive mechanicals like that. That's the thing.
No.
You know, we don't. We get the mechanical because for the first time tonight that I've ever seen, I saw a Super Formula Light get a flat tire on the right-hand side and sparks were coming out of it. And it looked absolutely amazing. But that's the first time I've seen it. But you've got the progressive damage within NASCAR. And basically, if they hit a wall in the same place over and over and over and over again, there's going to be a time it's going to go clink. Your toe link's going to come off and it's going to break. So they've got to be aware of that scenario. But you can't deal, like Mark Herzog can't deal with what Al Corey is going to do. Al might have had too many Dr. Peppers and is now sat in his rig needing a wee and he's going to go and do something stupid, you know, just so he can go and get a yellow flag and run off to the toilet. You don't know all of these things that's going to take place. And the interesting thing for me at this moment in time is we've got Ben Harcum and Al Corey. Let's not forget, obviously, Ben sponsoring today's race as well, guys. So much love to Ben as we come into 4 to go for the end of stage number 1. But you know, you're just not able to control what others do. Ben's not able to control what Al does. Matthew Aloka's not able to control what Elton Wu does. I'd love to say that this is 100% a skill-based discipline, but hell no, it is not. It's one of them things. So, just like that.
Oh. That was... I mean, that was... I don't even know if... Was that even contact, or was that just losing the rear slightly?
Oh, we're going to have a look.
I think did he just wash out? I think he just washed out.
Yeah, you can see this one goes on. It's going to be coming up this lap. I think it's just at the end of one here, to be honest. But,
yeah,
you know, things like the internet plays a massive part.
Oh,
he
yeah,
just washed
yeah,
out and then went down and tried to steer and then put himself in the wall. You know, the internet plays a massive part as well because the flat tyre was achieved under a massive dose of netcode. 31 lap fuel run maximum, apparently, here as well. Coming down now, we've got 1 to go in the stage, and Chad Bear looks like he's going to take it.
Yeah, he is. So Kevin said it's a 31 lap fuel run max, but Chad Bear's gone from lap 12 to this point by the sheer fact of we've had a caution in between then, which has allowed him to save some fuel and now try and rocket round to the stage win. So it'll be some good points for Chad Bear as he looks ahead to the playoffs in 2 weeks' time. The caution is called for the stage changeover. We'll take this opportunity once they've come through pit lane to have a chat to our race sponsor, of course, Ben Harcum. But we'll await them to do the pit stop because we've had scenarios before, James, where we've dragged the round sponsor in, and it's as they're coming into the pit box and then they made a mistake.
Yeah,
and we don't want to get blamed for a driver's mistakes, of course. So, but we also don't want to put them off. So we'll let them do their pit stop and then we'll drag them in for a chat.
No, I generally do this. Watch it. I'll have a chat with Ben Harcum. Yeah. Going to have a chat now with Ben Harcum, today's race belt. Ben, welcome in.
How's it going, guys?
I'm okay. How much involvement did you have in the situation with Al?
Just a little bit.
All right,
It has a lot to do with Dr. Pepper.
All right, mate. Right, I'm going to shut up for a minute just so you can get in your pit box.
All right, you're fine.
All right, you've said I'm fine. If you miss it, that's not my fault.
Okay.
Your choice.
That was him signing the NDA that it's not our fault if it happens.
I generally am going to shut up anyway because I don't want you to get it wrong. There you go. So you had a little bit to do with Al?
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. I presume you had a little bit to do with mine?
No, I didn't have any parts in that.
Yeah, but There you go.
Maybe.
Yeah, exactly. You're full of it, aren't you, tonight? You know what I mean? I do love the modest of it all, Ben, as well. Listen, dude, how's it going out there? It looks tough.
Yeah, it's kind of slick a little bit. Trying to run the bottom in 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 the high side. Try to save a little bit of tire for the end.
Do you think you're going to get... How are you doing in junction? Because obviously if we run, 31 laps we've been told of max fuel run.
Yep.
So how are you dealing with fuel saving?
Trying to. I'm not the very best at tire saving or fuel saving, but I'm going to try my best. I did so that last run there.
All right, mate. Well, listen, dude, I'm going to put you back down in, what are you in, lounge 3, weren't you, with Matt?
Yes, sir.
Pay attention where I drag you from, to be Ben, but there we go. Let's move you down into lounge 3, buddy. Have a good one, mate. We'll catch up with you later.
All right. See you later.
They're definitely planning secret corgi moves down there.
Oh, bro, you can hear it now. You know.
Oh, yeah.
I know full well he had lots to do with the fact that I got the
Oh,
Dr.
definitely.
Pepper. You know,
Definitely.
so him and Perezzini, the two of them together, rascals, the lot of them.
Maybe we need to Brexit bomb them. Maybe we need to counter strike, James.
Yeah. It's interesting at the moment as well because my wife come in and she was like, I'm trying to explain it to her, and I might as well just been talking to my computer monitor. It was just blank. And she was like, what are you going to do with a 6'1" American flag? I was like, darling, I'm going to stick it up on my ceiling.
Yeah, why not?
She was like, why? Because I can.
You should tell her we're gonna bring some freedom to the bedroom. Is what's gonna happen here. We're gonna put it on the ceiling.
I definitely am not putting it on the ceiling in the bedroom. She would absolutely muller me. But there we go. Let's get green going.
Green flag's about to come out. Kansas Speedway stage break has been broken as the green flag flies for lap 48 of this race. Chad Bear, who took the stage win, now gets some crucial points in his run towards the championship. Keaton Crothers is up there, Perezzini too, Bradley as well, Cress, McClendon, Herzig-Wu, Corey and Slaughter inside of the top 10 as it's a scramble from P2 back. But for Chad Bear, who has become the master of the safety car restarts in this series, James, has already broken away to a nice little half-second lead, trying to break that slipstream as best he can, and then hope and pray, fingers crossed, he doesn't get a caution to break any advantage he can get.
This is where it's interesting now because Perezzini and Bradley and people in behind have got to try and single line it up and see if they can get onto the back of him. That's the thing at the moment. They can let him escape a little bit, but they can't allow him to get too far away. They've got to use what they can do. You know, there's a few bumping, drafting opportunities if they can. If Bradley can get Perezzini coming out the tri-oval, that's one. He can get him again going into one. If he can get him again going on the outside of one, it would be interesting to see if he's able to do that. But I think at the moment, Bear could be just running as fast as he can, like a scolded cat in headlights, and just trying to basically escape. But at the moment, you can see everybody is brought in behind that, even right the way down here to Ryan Hyatt, who is sitting down in 18th at the moment. He's got Benson alongside of him, Harmon in front with Harcum and Epting. Aloka's in there, Robinson's in there. You know, this group have got to try and get this working somehow. I don't know how, but normally single lining it and running nose to tail generally helps them.
Yeah, I don't know, if I'm honest, if they'd be able to run a single line astern for the whole grid, James, if I'm honest. I feel someone would make the mistake and someone's going to end up in a wall if that were to happen.
It would be good to see, though.
It would be good to see. A little bit of quick math. So if it's 31 laps on a regular tank, so without fuel saving, they've pitted on lap 45. They're going to need 2 more stops to get to the end, irregardless. But it means that our critical lap now is lap... Well, to get from 120, to get to 120, sorry, would be lap 89. Would be the critical lap to get home. So if they pit on lap 89, they can get home. But if they were to pit 2 more times and go on a maximum fuel run, they're going to get to, I believe it's 61, so lap 106. Yeah, 106 would be with 2 stops.
Yeah, well, they've gone to 45 and everybody's been in. They should effectively go to 76 if we're running on 31.
and then 107.
Yeah, something like that. So unless they get a caution in the middle and it's going to throw the wind open, and then me and you are just going to sit here all confused because I ain't doing maths at this time in the morning. It's quarter to 2.
So realistically, they've got about 5 laps, which would get them to lap 57. Lap 58 would be the critical of. That's when you can pit, and then you can make it to the critical lap of lap 89. So they need to try and get into pit road at lap 57, 58, even if they have to save a little bit, because that's when you know that they can make it home. But in saying that, it's a long time that they have to go on a tyre set if they were to lock themselves into a 31 lap stint to the end.
Yeah, I'm glad it's middle of the day for you, because I wouldn't have been able to work all that one out this time of night. You know what I mean? That's what makes it easy for me, you know?
Yeah.
So I
can do the midday maths for you, James. It's fine.
Well, that's good then, because I can't. So I'm gonna leave it to you at this time of the morning. It's nearly 2 a.m. for me, and I wouldn't even want to trust my maths to do that one either. We're on 55 of 120, 32 coming to the end of the race. Perezzini putting Bear under pressure, running the low line in 3 and 4. What's he going to do going into 1 and 2 there on the back end of Sean Bradley's car? A couple of people dropped off around the backside from basically about 21st, give or take, which is Will Emmett, down to the end of that one. JC is also down there. He's out at the moment, to be fair. Gary Wright is out. Bogan, I believe, is still running. So we'll keep an eye and see how some of these guys get on. Tex Nichols is still running. I think he's the last of the runners, actually.
Yeah, Bogan's not running at the moment, so Nichols is the last of the runners. Everyone who is still running is still on the lead lap. But yeah, the NicholsOilPros.com sponsor of Tex Nichols is just at the back end of the field. We've been hyping it up all season about this spectacular deal that he has running. And it's, if you send him an email and mention that you were told to shoot him a message by watching the Triple Bypass series, that he then put you on the preferred customer list. And it is a ridiculous deal. I think it's 25% off and free shipping US wide. I think they're trying to figure out Hawaii at the moment, but it's a ridiculous deal for that sort of product, of course. But at the front of the field for Perezzini, well, he wants to try and get himself an even more ridiculous deal of staying at the front and getting a ticket to the end of the race and trying to get a race win next to his name as well. Brake pedal stuck at about 5% for me. RIP from Will in the chat. I believe that's going to be Will Emmett. The only thing you can really do, Will, is come into pit road and fix your do your brake pedal adjustment.
Stand on it and see what happens. You know what I mean? There you go.
I used to race barefoot, James, so I would curl my toes over the brake pedal and just force it back with my foot as I'm
put
driving.
it underneath. That's what I would do. Well, I'm racing. Generally, if I'm doing racing, which isn't, mind you, I would race in socks with grips on the bottom, and do the same thing. Hook my toes underneath and pull it back towards me after I don't need to. But you should be able to get away, though. That's the thing with a lift here. You shouldn't have to brake to a degree. I think you should be able to get away with a lift, as we have got a caution there.
Is it Matt? No, Matt Epting and Matt Aloka are battling, so it's not them.
There.
Oh, that's what it is right there. So that was with Matt Epting, and who was that went off the road?
Ryan
the 3
Hyatt.
car.
Didn't somebody say in YouTube chat they hope that Matt Empting don't take anyone out? Not doing a good job at the moment.
I think so. Yeah, let's hope Matt Epting doesn't crash anyone this race from Owen in the chat. So that's been debunked. Out the window. Completely smashed out. So he is now running around still. Ryan Hyatt. We do have a caution. So another caution in this race. So the pace car is back out there. So they are at the stage now that drivers could test the waters, James, and come into pit road, and they know that then they can make it home on one stop after this.
Yeah,
but that is a gamble. I think if you're further back in the field, if you're in the position of a Matt Aloka or a Ben Harcum or a John Crutchley or Ruless, further back in the field, worth the gamble, because you never know what's going to happen. Although all the front runners are coming in, they're taking the free stop.
Yeah,
They're all
everybody.
in. Very interesting.
There's only
No, they're not all
one.
coming in. Yeah, that was Dylan Freeman has stayed out, so he's sticking to the regular strategy. So it appears now the regular strategy is the gamble.
Yeah.
That is the gamble that's now at play. Taking track position.
Everybody is in at this moment in time. Everybody apart from him is in. So we'll see what goes on with that one. Perezini's in pit lane. He's out as well. Freeman is a lap down, so he's gone to get his lap back.
Okay, so he's got his
that's the situation. As Matt Perezini gets a race out of pit lane and is running there at the same time. We do have a slight issue with that recap. The lead changes situation is not working 100%.
So he's taken. So actually, he has not taken tyres on this stop. The top 9 cars have not taken tyres. Chad Bear is the top seeded car at the moment who has taken a set of tyres. So I think for Perezini, he's probably wanting to save those up for sure, because he'll likely take tyres on his final regular pit stop with the fuel, and then he might be saving some for the last little run in the race if there's a pace car that gets called and he can just jump into pit lane and take some tyres. As McClendon's coming back in, he might have a drive-through. Maybe he got a speeding and pit lane penalty.
Maybe it was naughty. Take everything off, and your pit lane penalty would be about 2 seconds. Little trick for you all as well. Completely free of charge. If you do get a stop and go, take everything off, including the windscreen, the fuel, the tyres, the whole lot. Get it down to about 2 seconds. There we go. The free tip.
Oh, he's taking a 10-second stop, so I think he may have actually come in just for an extra splash of fuel.
Weird.
Interesting. Although, to be fair to McClendon, he's already got a playoff position, so he can roll the dice and test some different strategies in this race. I mean, it is the final regular round of the season, of course, here at Kansas Speedway. Next week, we're off on a break, and then we're back in 2 weeks' time. I'm getting the actual calendar, so I have the actual date. April 6th at Richmond Speedway for a night race. 160 laps is the next race on the calendar, the first race of the playoffs. Then we're out at Homestead, Miami for April 13th. Very excited about it. I love Homestead. Love the road course there, so looking forward to the Oval. And then the final round, April 20th, Atlanta Motor Speedway for 120 laps, as well as 120 laps of Homestead too. So those are the playoff races. Ironically, the man who leads the championship, James, as we're back under green, Steve McClendon, is the round sponsor of the final round out at Atlanta. So could he round sponsor himself to a championship, or will someone be there to spoil the party? So for Chad Bear, though, he's taken tyres, so he's one tyre set down on the cars in front of him, but that fresh rubber will allow him to get his way further back up towards the front of the field. So this little gamble of Perezini and Bradley may not work out too well for them just yet.
Yeah, it may not do. I'm interested to see why Jack Bear is down in 7th. But that could involve the fact that he may have taken tyres.
Yeah, no, he took tyres.
Isn't he?
Dropped extra time.
Yeah.
So that's why.
That's why he's all the way down there on lap 65 of 120, just broken the halfway point at the moment. Got your ex-Eda on your screen. You see the free wide action taking place further back there. They all going to make it through. That's Al Corey in that one with Marta Herzog. They did make it through. And the 88 of Jeff Slaughter in behind the 9 of Brad Kress, all at the same time. So a great job from all of these guys at this moment in time as we go on to lap 66. Still action to have, and I'm sure more will come our way.
More and more is going to continue coming our way. I mean, we're only halfway through. We're multiple cautions down in this race, and I mean, it's how many more could we have here? I mean, we expected it coming into this race, James. Fast-paced tri-oval, mid-size, cautions are going to happen. It's a Charlotte Motor Speedway type scenario here at Kansas. So, for those drivers, wanting to buy a ticket to the end, wanting to buy a ticket to the playoffs, you got to have a little bit of luck about it, don't you? You got to have a little bit of luck. You can have a little gamble as well, but again, it's controlling the controllable. controlling what you're going to do. But for Chad Bear, he has rocketed to the front of the field on this fresh set of tyres and has already gotten past Piracini, Merritt and Bradley, and now leads the way once again on fresh rubber here in the M&M's 91 car. Piracini hot on his heels, only took fuel in his stop. So if, the more cautions we get and the closer that Piracini can stay with Bear, it will play into the hands of Piracini, Bradley and Merritt, James, because obviously they'll have the fresher tyres at the end of the race. But it's, how willing are you to play the gamble and roll the dice? That is the question for these drivers.
What have you got to lose?
Exactly. Well, for Piracini, he's got nothing to lose. For Bear, Piracini has got something to lose. The opportunity at the playoffs. That's what Piracini has to lose. Bradley, nothing to lose as this contact! And that there is the bad luck coin flipping the wrong way for Matt Piracini once again.
Bradley dinked him. Piracini put it up into the wall. Bradley's just ran into him. Almost kind of ran him over. And unfortunately, Bosch, contact from behind from the 57 of Herzog. And that is all she wrote for Matt Piracini.
You'd have to argue, James. I mean, at this point of the race, anything can happen, of course, in the last half. Anything can happen at the crescendo. You'd have to argue that might be playoff opportunity over for Matt Piracini.
Well,
that may be the case that we are now playing with. We spoke about Bear, Bradley, Kress. They've already got their playoff position. He was the one that was trying to get there. And now he's got all the work to do in this race. Now, with this caution, we'd expect him to come in, take tyres. He's coming in. But we'd expect him to take tyres, get this car fixed. I mean, you can see that steering damage on the front end. So the car's going to get fixed. He's going to take some fresh tyres, and he's just going to have to push on. He is... what is it? He's 17 laps away. Sorry, 18 laps away from the critical lap of lap 89. So he's going to have to take another stop at some point. But he's just going to have to try and push on and push forward now and just try and make the end and see what happens. That's all he can do.
Yeah, there was a reverse in the booth from Mark Herzog there. So we'll have a catch up with Matt Piracini. You just seen him put him in the wall there. Matt, welcome in. How are you?
Not too happy right now.
Did you get run over?
Yep, the 77 ran me over, just being dumb.
Yeah, we did see that. So where are you going to be at now for your playoff hopes?
Well, I got to get back to the top 10. Luckily, the stage we finished second, but I'm going to have to get my way back to the top 10 now and pray that I don't get in another wreck. Just really frustrating when somebody that's locked into the playoffs races you like a tool and affects your playoff hopes. It's not cool.
I do fully agree on that one. Do you think the fresher tire is going to help?
Well, we got to hope so. I mean, got to get back to the front now and, got to try to salvage the day now.
All right, man. Well, good luck on trying to salvage the day. Let's see how you get on, bud. I'll catch up with you later.
Sounds good. Thanks, James.
No worries. Matt Piracini there. That answers that question. He's going to have to try and get up there. Not impressed, mind you, by the sounds of it, Hamish, whatsoever.
I mean, nothing against Sean Bradley, but can you necessarily blame him?
He ran him over.
Yeah.
Bro, he ran him over.
He did.
You got to look at the bigger picture when you're doing things like that. This is one of the things when we were talking about you can't control other people. You can't control the people around you. Piracini had tagged the wall and we clearly saw that. But for Bradley, that's just a lift away. That's not a run over scenario. And it's one of them things. I don't quite expect what he expected.
I don't know. I'm not sure. But what we can expect is some great racing once again. Green flag is out. Chat Bear leads the way. Lap 73 of 120. Tyler Merritt is up towards the front. Could he get himself a race win? We know that he is exceptional, even on a gamepad. And mind you, very rude of him because he right now, I bet, is racing sat back in a lounge chair, eating some snacks and is having a good time, James. While all these other drivers are absolutely sweating in a racing rig.
Oh, mate, I couldn't drive on a controller. I tried it once.
I couldn't. It's horrible. I do not like it. But the bonus of being able to sit back and relax while you do it, that would be an absolute godsend.
Oh, yeah.
It really would.
I've sat in my chair quite a few times today already. My bum's numb just by sitting here. So if I could squat on my sofa and do some commentary, I'd be amazed. But the problem is I wouldn't have the freedom of sitting here staring at me 4 monitors, trying to monitor everything at the same time. But, for Merritt, if he is sat there chilling out, then, good luck to him. I doubt very much he's sat in a rig. I don't see why you would need to be honest, sitting on a gamepad. But he's doing a great job. And hopefully for him, he'll be able to get up there. It is sickening, actually, because doesn't really show movement signs of gamepad action. We'll jump on board and you can watch his movement on the steering wheel. It's still quite fluid considering.
I wonder if he has a program on his computer that adjusts the sensitivity of his thumbsticks. Because that would be a major thing. If you could turn the sensitivity down, that would allow you then to be a lot smoother on the thumbsticks. So that would be I think what's even more disgusting is the fact that he has an over 4K rating on a gamepad. That is what disgusts me more.
Yeah, I think for me it could be the fact that you can get. Now I have seen. Ooh, that's a wall. Maybe
the 3D printed thing that changes the gamepad thumbsticks to a wheel. Is that what you're about to say?
You can get.
He does not use that. You can. He does not use that. We confirmed that with him. So no, that was the first thing that I asked him. I'm like, oh, do you have one of those 3D printed things that changes it? And he's like, nope, I'm just straight up on the thumbstick. And I'm like, how has this worked? How has this happened?
How do you feel anything through the pedals?
Oh yeah, you'd feel nothing. We spoke to him as well. We're like, oh, how do you go on a road course? He's like, I go pretty well. We got to a road course. He didn't do that well. So I think we joke about, it's only turning left in ovals. I do feel that ovals, though, would be a little bit easier on a gamepad than a road course would be, because you're only having to go one direction. So that's one of the toughest things is the change of direction and the braking on a gamepad. So Mike in the chat, Chief Marketing Officer of the corporate group here. Sorry I missed the race. Happy kids tonight. That's all right, Mike. It's okay. We'll forgive you this time. I don't know if Al Corey is going to forgive you, though, for being a part of that adventure of sending out corgis to people.
I could be in trouble as well on that one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As you said, you could have let me know. I was like, how would I do such a stupid thing like that? You know what I mean? It was our fault. We got ourselves in trouble, so...
Yeah.
we got ourselves in trouble. So suck it up, Al. You know what I mean?
I'm going to have to find this podcast now just so I can listen to what you guys spoke about and then know
I didn't
how you
think
got
it was
yourselves
that
in trouble.
dramatic, but according to, it was. So, yeah. But, hey, is what it is.
It is what it is.
I don't care.
Oh,
Hey, I got a 6'1"
Blue,
American
though.
flag. That's all I can...
That's a bonus, James. Honestly, that is an absolute bonus.
I know.
I mean, I would appreciate that. You know what I would appreciate even more though? A 6'1" flag, a 6'1" Canadian flag. That's what I would appreciate.
No.
I want Al Corey to corgi bomb me with Oilers gear. That's what I want.
Oh yeah, I'd take a cap any day. I've been sent a cap from a team in Australia, right? You know them.
I know. The Carlins boys of Daniel Byrne and David Gallo.
Yeah, and then Apex sent me a T-shirt from Steph Piccoli. So there we go.
Oh, look at you getting all the benefits, James.
Oh, mate, this is where you turn around and go, "Where's my free stuff?" That's it. That's all I say. You know what I mean? Where's my? Come on. Where's it? I pressurized Gallo and Byrne for ages to get my stuff through. So there we go. Ben Harcum is just having a little bit of a moment there. He's just gone back a few positions on whatever path he did take. What about Perezzini? Where are you at the moment? He's got himself back up 8.
Yeah, but the problem is Well, it's actually it's not actually that bad of an issue now where he is, because everyone needs one more stop, including him. But the benefit is he's going to be able to take less fuel because he doesn't have to go as long on this stop. So he does have to take an extra stop, but his position in the race is not that bad. He hasn't actually ended up that bad. He's dropped further back off of he was, but in the top 4, but now he's in the top 6. So the fresh tires are paying dividends. The problem is he doesn't have the lifeline now of having the extra tire set at the end. If he has to take tires at the end of the race.
That would be the question if he's got anything left.
Yeah.
That would be the hardest thing.
Yeah.
Mike, you're the second person to say that to me.
Yeah, I'm getting a little bit worried by these. What's the word? Almost feels passive aggressive about not messing with corgis. I feel like the lol is just to make us feel better.
Yeah, tell me about it. I was in the same boat. So I feel your pain, but yeah. Oh, that was the other thing I got as well. It was a Corgi 2025 calendar.
Again, this is just sounding like one of the best things ever.
I know. Again, the wife was just like, "What?" I was just, "Oh
no!
By your own teammate."
Corgi on corgi action.
Oh my god! That's Slaughter.
Did he ride up on him, or did Slaughter come down on him? Oh, and it's taken out Merritt with him too.
Gonna have to have a look. Slaughter's coming down. Perezzini's where he is. Still where he is. Still where he is.
He's riding up a little bit, but not too much. So they straight... no, he's come down on him.
Bro, you literally...
I have a feeling... Are they in... Oh, they're in chat together as well.
Oh, bro.
I have a feeling Jeff Slaughter may have just been absolutely rinsed by Matt Perezzini. I feel there may have been a bit of a spray from Matt.
I feel language aplenty.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. He is in pit road. That will be race done because he's already used his fast repair.
Just literally.
Yep, he literally just used it about 10 laps ago. So, unfortunately for Matt Perezzini, that is playoff hopes going out the window. Done and dusted.
You may be right on that one. We are coming into the evening here in Kansas.
We're 2 laps away, James, from critical laps. So drivers are going to be able to make it home now with the fuel save.
If they can.
If they can fuel save. Yeah. But it's worth the gamble being so close to it. That's what it is.
Tell you what, Matt's got to get his butt out. Yeah,
he can't. He's got to try and get the car fixed. That's the issue. He's probably got required repairs.
The weirdest thing is that the steering is not even covered under required. I think it's you get your optionals and then you get your required and.
You're required.
Your steering's covered under your optional. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yeah,
and then you go out and your steering's still bent because it doesn't cover it.
Because the required only fixes the engine and anything mechanical like that. So if it, he like we heard him before, he was pissed. Now he is like I'm thinking back to like any footage I've ever seen of like a sports coach just absolutely ripping into a team after not playing how they should be. That is what I expected out of Matt Perezzini to Jeff Slaughter then, because they're in the same chat at the same time. I expected like there would have been obscenities and F this, why'd you do that? Because I feel his pain like that. There,
it's race over.
Yeah,
too much damage.
Yep. I'm not surprised because he doesn't have a fast repair left, and it's a real shame.
Damage thing, isn't it?
Yep, everything has got the NDM now. So if the engine is gone and he doesn't have a fast repair, it's over. you can't fix it.
He's out for Matt Perezzini.
Yep. So, unfortunately for Matt, I mean, we spoke about it at the start of the race. If he didn't make the playoffs, it would have been he is the best of the rest, and he would be, the best driver to not make it. But at this stage, we can't think about that. All we can think about is the fact that we're green flag running again, 1 lap away from critical, and Dylan Freeman and Matt Epting have rolled the dice and not come down pit road this time by. So Elton Wu is the effective leader of the race, as he has taken a pit stop. He came in on lap 86, as did the rest of the field. Al Corey is P2. Could you imagine the irony, James, of the Corgi Airstrike 120 if Al Corey, the one who copped the airstrike, were to win this race? Could you imagine? It would be absolute scenes.
Yeah. That would be irony 101.
It would just absolute irony. And I'd be all for it, because I feel that Al is, I feel like we're talking drivers up too much, because every time we talk about them, they get crashed into, and I don't want it to happen. I don't want this taken away from Al Corey. I want him to get a win.
Well,
no, he's getting swarmed though. He's got the Corgi SWAT team around him still.
Yeah,
we
know
cannot
just taking one of their own.
I know. I mean, the friendly fire apparently is turned on for the Corgis, it seems. But for Al Corey, Brad Kress, Elton Wu, Jeff Slaughter, all in this battle at the front. Mark Herzig's there, Matt Robinson as well, Sean Bradley too. Where in the world has Chad Bear gone?
Sitting just in behind him.
P7, yeah.
Yeah, he's there in the M&M's car.
He took his tyres that stop as well. So Bear took tyres, Crest took tyres, Robinson took tyres, Elton Wu did not, Corey did not, Slaughter did. So the fresh tyres, is it going to play off for them? Oh my God, Robinson. That is about as close as you want to get in a side-by-side battle, James. I mean, any closer and they're inside each other.
They've just got to now make sure they're in position. This is the thing. You look at this last 30 and you think, where do I need to be and how can I get there? That's going to be the situation. It will be, how can I get there? And is it going to be possible? That's the thing. Matt Perezzini going into this 13th.
13th in the championship, and he's got the stage points, so that's a benefit. 9 points on the stage.
That will give him 191. That's still behind Benson. No, still behind Benson, still behind Wu, still behind Merritt.
So we can't get there.
No,
it is, and it's heartbreaking. It is absolutely heartbreaking, because it's not just the fact that he got points; it's the fact that those guys are still running at the moment and will get points still at this stage. So, it's, we always say it. It's racing; it happens, but it doesn't mean that it can't break your heart from time to time as well.
Oh yeah, dude, that's the thing. I think for Matt Perezzini's got to sit back and just chill. Corey's going backwards now since you picked him up. He's dropped back to basically round about P8.
Sounds like a skill issue to me.
That was a you issue. Said since you picked him up and said, "Come on now, you got the win." He's gone backwards.
I didn't say he has the win. I said I'd like him to win. I try not to play favorites, but I feel like that would be an everybody like that scenario if Al won.
Well, everybody would, but unfortunately for Al, doesn't look like it's likely to happen. There we go. On this one, lap 97 of 120.
Weirder things have happened, James. People have been taken out in the last moment. Anything can happen.
Dude, I saw a geezer win, mate, and he was on the final lap, and he got taken out by a back marker.
To be fair, James, anything can happen. You won Martinsville, so that proves it.
Oh yeah, I come from the back.
Yeah, I mean, it's any anyone can win on their day. It's whether Lady Luck decides that you are the one. That is what it comes down to.
Go back in and defending my championship.
It's fine. I'm doing it next year for the Raw.
Yeah, going in defending my championship this season at the MX 500. Probably not in VR this time though, however, because 4.5 hours spent in VR was a killer.
Oh, dude, that absolutely horrid.
But I do wonder if being in VR actually helped, because I was allowed to sort of swivel my head and see more. So I'm a bit 50-50 on it, because I think it may have assisted in some of the things that I'd
you can get that much. Yeah, triples you can get that much. So.
Dude, I've got 4 monitors on the wall. They're attached to the wall. How am I supposed to get triples with 4 monitors attached on the wall?
Build a new PC. That's how.
No. My wife would batter me. Absolutely kill me if I was to build a new PC with and put 3 triples.
Give her a give her an ultimatum. It's either the freedom flag goes on the roof in the bedroom, or I build a new PC and see what she says.
The freedom flag in the bedroom. And then I'll just say to her, the rules are this: America has to come out every time at the end.
The sound you make has to be the sound of the eagle. Yeah. Every time.
Mike, VR is an advantage. It is, Mike. And this is the thing. When I did Martinsville, I said, since it was the guy who was going to spot for me, I said, look, we'll probably only be in an hour anyway, mate, because we'll probably get taken out. But it allowed me to see a lot more, especially at Martinsville. I was able to spot the insides and stuff like that. And it did have its advantages, I'm not going to lie. But would I really want to spend 4 hours in there again? Probably not. But you never know. We'll see what happens. Mark Herzog is there, funny enough, chasing down Al Corey.
Yeah, he's trying to get up to him in the in-and-out car. Of course, Mark Herzog in the 5-7. Let me just double check if he has actually locked himself into a playoff position. I need to double check these things. He has. So he's already got a playoff position. He's not fighting for anything this week. He's here for a good time, here to try and get the best position he can in this race. The drivers inside of the top 10 who are locked in is McClendon, Bradley, and Herzog. We can make a pretty heavy claim Brad Kress is locked in P2. Pretty tough for him to drop 86 points to drop outside of the top 10. And Jared Jackson, could he drop 48 points to drop out, James? I don't know.
You have to come. The thing is, as well, there's going to be a lot of jiggling around at the moment. And the reason I say that is because you have to complete 9 races to be eligible for the playoffs.
That's true. And
Herzog's only done 8 with this one. Wu's only done 8. So it is a possibility that the likes of Perezzini would possibly go over the top of them.
That's if he's done 9.
Well, yeah, I'm going to presume he's done 9.
So, okay, well then we can do the quick maths. So who is racing in this race? Who's done 8 races? McClendon, Kress, Bradley, Harmon, Ben Harcum, Jeff Slaughter, Herzog will only, William Emmett. Herzog will only get to 8 races, which feels a little bit. I think with a race win, he should be allowed in. With 8 races.
This is Merritt's last one, Benson's last one, and Perezzini's last one. So with them 3 and only 2 spots up for grabs at the moment, I think he's still going to miss out.
Yeah, it would be incredibly. I think it'd be lucky at this point if Perezzini were to get in. I think that's all he can rely on. I think for Herzog, who this is his 8th race, I think because I'm not, obviously they have their rules, but I think because he's gotten a race win, James, he should be locked in with 8 races. Like, he's 1 race away, and he has a race win. I mean, surely there has to be some sort of leeway in that sense. It's not like he's done 1 race and won it, and then he hasn't raced again.
Yeah, no,
that would be ridiculous.
No, I think the rules are rules, and they all knew the rules going in.
This is true.
And the likes of Wu, the likes of Herzog, who were aware that basically they've got to do this number of races. If it's going to be 9, then I would do 9 right at the beginning to get it over and done with. But I think for a minute, it's going to be, if I've got And on the top 10 at the moment, you would be, or 11, it would be McClendon, Cress, Jackson, Bradley, Harmon, Harcum, Emmett, Slaughter. That's 8. Then you've got Merritt 9, Benson 10, and Perezzini would be the 11th.
Yeah, he realistically just had to beat Merritt and who was the other driver? It was Merritt and who? Sorry,
Merritt and Benson.
Well, there is good news. Oh, Jason Benson is still running his
He's still
P15.
going. Yeah, he's still going.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I think at the moment Benson's still running, Merritt's still running. Wu and Herzog would come down because they haven't done the allotted. So that would put Merritt and Benson into 9th and 10th.
Top 10.
And then Benson would, Perezzini would also jump them too because they haven't done the allotted. And he would be the next one in line for the 9th spot.
I suppose then it comes down to, can those drivers make the playoffs? Like, can they actually race those days?
Wow.
Because if they can't, then I think you give the position to the next driver.
Well,
So if for example, if Benson or Merritt can't make the race for the first round of the playoffs, I think then you just got to by proxy give it to Perezzini.
yeah.
Because they can't race. I mean, it's,
But it's how
Whatever.
these are going to handle that. I'd be interested to know on that. Mike, iRacing VR is the depth perception. I agree with you, Mike. I do agree. It does have its advantages. But it's just whether or not I fancy another 4.5 hours in an MX-5 hurtling around Martinsville, Mike. That's my point.
Well, I'll give you the selling ticket then on the Raw, James. You know that it's 2.4 hours. It
Listen.
does not go any longer than that.
Well, there you go. So you've got it easy.
Yeah. That's the ticket. Is you race the Raw, because you know it only goes for just over 2 hours. You either pick the LMP3, because it's going to be in every single split, or the GT4. You can be mad and pick the TCR, which is fun. It is fun in the TCR. But, it's just, you just run laps. It's a good time. And Daytona's a good track.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree.
We can see, though, Merritt is hot on these drivers' heels. Oh, it's 9 laps to go. And it looks like Brad Kress, even though he's inside of the top 10, James, of the championship, he wants to lock himself into a playoffs position by getting a win.
Yeah.
He's got position over Bear, over Bradley, over Merritt, who we're right on board with, as well as Harmon. Bradley and Bear are going at it at the moment, side by side. There's lap traffic up ahead of them. I'm not sure who it is. I think it might be, is it Ward Fisher? Possibly. Just up ahead of Brad Crest. No, it's not Matt Epting. Brad Crest is there. Who's up ahead of him?
84. Yeah, it is
Yeah,
Ward Fisher.
Yep.
So, 8 to go. I'm having a long, in-depth conversation with Matt Perezzini about how close this is going to be with him in the playoffs.
It's literally going to come down to, I think at this stage, it's going to come down to who can actually make that race.
It will be John, by all accounts, it will be Mr. Crutchley that could cause Perezzini issues. So, we'll find out how this continues to go there. Chad Bear sitting in second, 7 to go here, 114 of 120, depends on obviously how it's counted, but we'll take it at 60.
Yeah, 6 laps left, so 6 laps for Chad Bear to try and get a race win over Brad Crest. Crest wants a win for himself. Merritt as well wants to get himself a win and lock himself into playoffs. So if Merritt gets the win, that's one less spot that Perezzini could possibly take over inside of the top 10, James. That's the other little notion we need to speak about. Merritt's in winning contention right now. If he wins, it means it's only one spot left that Perezzini could possibly take.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. He thinks it's very, very close. I think it could be very close as well. Obviously,
it could be. It's gonna be tight for sure.
Yeah, I think for the first time, obviously, I've only been here. This is my first race of the season, so playing catch up on scores and stuff. But I think it could be a very, very interesting one indeed.
Yeah, it's It's going to be one for the statisticians out there to figure out, and we're only going to really know who is in contention by next week when we're on the break. That's when we're going to properly know who is in those playoffs. But right now, this battle is getting heated up. Sean Bradley's been through pit road, so he looks to be out of the race win contention, but he's already got his playoff spot as well with that race win earlier in the season. But will Bear try and get it past Cress, or will Cress just hang with him and want to try and take his race win? It is as tight as you would hope it could be. Merritt and Harmon are battling for P3 as well. So with 3 laps to go, it is all on the line as we run around turn 1 through turn 2. Cress carries the outside line. Bear wants the inside line. Can he get a run on him? I don't think he can, James. I mean, it's easy enough for him to get right up in behind, but is Bear even going to be willing to push it? Because he's not inside the top 10 of the championship at the moment.
You've got to. I think when you're that close, I think you've got to go for the win, right? He's only got 2 to go. If he can get Cress beforehand, well, we're going to find out whether or not he can or not. I think at the moment, Brad Cress could take the victory with 2 to go, but I think we're going to find out in about a minute's time.
Yeah, it's not going to be very far away at all as we come around the final few corners here of Kansas Speedway. It'll be 1 to go. White flag when they cross the line. Brad Cress, who wants a win next to his name on the number 9 car. One of those drivers responsible for the Corgi airstrike. We don't know how much percentage he had in that one, but apparently he was at least a part of it. But Bear outside, side by side down the back straight. He's got to run. Bear into the lead ahead of Cress now. So Chad Bear in the 91, who led the majority of the laps today, put the car on pole, has had the speed all season and has had the pace over these other cars all season. In fact, he's led more than half the laps in this race. He takes the win of the final moments here at Kansas Speedway. Brad Cress just misses out. Tyler Merritt gets onto the podium and gets some crucial points in his run towards the top 10 of the championship. Al Corey inside of the top 10 of this race. Herzig's just going to get past him for P6. As we look back to Derek Catt, who gets into P11 on the road. One driver's dropped spots. Was that Ben Harcum, who was on the low line there and just gave up some positions? I'm not sure. But what an end for Chad Bear. Takes a win this season now. Gets past Brad Cress in the final moments of this race. It was intense. And now for these drivers with a week away, there's some self-reflection. There's some fingers crossed, some hopes and prayers for those on the cutoff line for the playoffs. They can sneak their way in somehow.
Yeah, I think that's the thing now. It's nail-biting time, isn't it? Can they do it? Can they not? You know what I mean? Who's where? How's it going to finish off? I think a few could be in trouble.
I think they very well could, but the provisional race results on your screen now. Chad Bear takes the win over Brad Cress and Tyler Merritt on the podium. Matt Harmon, Keaton Crothers for your top 5. Mark Herzig, Al Corey, Tyler Rulis, John Crutchley, and Matthew Aloka for the top 10. Derek Catt, Jeff Slaughter, Ben Harcum, Will Emmett, Ward Fisher for the top 15. Elton Wu, Jason Benson, and Dylan Freeman make up the top 18 cars on the road, with Kyle Dewey, Sean Bradley for the top 20, Steve McClendon, Matt Epting, Tex Nichols, Matt Robinson, Ryan Hyatt, Matt Piracini, Gary Wright, Morris Bogan, John Campbell at the back of the field. Brad Dalton never got started in this race. Unfortunately for him, neither did John Campbell, actually, the night I just seen. So we've got some podium finishes to have a chat to. Is Tyler Merritt in there? He is indeed. So let's start off with our P3 on the road here this evening. Mr. Tyler Merritt, who's recently caught up with James Parfitt.
Tyler, welcome in, bud. How are you? Tyler?
I've got you.
You got me? How are you?
Pretty mad I didn't map myself a shut-off car button tonight.
Say that again. Hold on, dude. I'm going to have to turn you up. You're very, very quiet in my ear. All right, go on. Say that again for me.
I'm saying I'm mad I didn't map a shut-off car button tonight.
Well, dude,
Yeah.
it was a tough one out there, wasn't it? That was the thing.
Yeah, I ran out in middle of 3 and 4. I was pushed it a little too hard, I think, at the pushed a little too hard at the end. I think I could have maybe caught him, but I ran in field middle of 3 and 4. But I'm happy it's a podium, and I made it into the playoffs, so that's good.
Yeah, I think that was the aim of most people, wasn't it, here today, was to make sure that they could lock that in. Very, very tough indeed. I think it's going to be a bit of a nervous wait time for some.
Oh, definitely. The playoffs were pretty tight. I know Matt was on the bubble, so with him DNFing, I wonder if that's going to cause someone to steal a spot or not tonight.
Well, this is where we're at. He thinks John Crutchley may have got him by 1 point. So
that is interesting.
Yeah, there's going to be some very nervous individuals who are waiting in conjunction with that. I think you, as I said, you got in, so you got to be happy. Where are we going now, Tyler? What do you think is going to happen going into the playoffs?
Well, I tell you now, if the gloves are coming off, I am going to go full stage win mode. I'm gonna try to position myself for wins at the end of the races, but it's going to be focusing on stage wins now.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the main point for some. I think going forward is going to be an interesting one to sit back and watch. But Tyler, listen, thanks for having a chat with us there, buddy. Anyone you want to shout out before we let you go?
My sponsor, Wizard Products, Elliott Salary Sports, Jared, Cody, and I'd say definitely big thanks to Cody because he helped me run NIS this week, Wednesday night. We did Homestead, and I did that specifically because of the race we have in 2 weeks from now.
No, fair play, mate.
I suck at Atlanta. I hate Atlanta. That's my home track. I want the old configuration back so bad, but my focus on the last race is going to be just on survival, honestly.
All right, well, good luck, and we'll see how you get on going into the playoffs. Enjoy your week's break.
All right, y'all take it easy. Have a good night.
There we go. I think we can bring in... No, we can't bring in Brad Crest because I can't find him. So, there we go.
Lounge 4, James. Lounge 4.
Lounge 4. Going all the way down there. Bring you in from there.
Obviously hiding from us.
There you go. Brad Crest, up in a booth for you, Hamish.
Mr. Cress, a tough run in this race, of course. You've obviously had some portion or part to play in a corgi airstrike that has happened here this evening, but you led the race towards the final lap, and then Chad Bear, bearer of nightmares, bearer of bad news, bringer of nightmares, just snuck it by you on the end. I mean, a good chunk of points to you, obviously P2 on the road, but how was that race for you, sir?
Well, it was a lot better than I expected it to be honest. And as far as Chad goes, he really surprised me going off into one. I thought I had enough gap on him. I was clutching it, trying to save enough fuel. And I just seen that M&M's car go zipping around on the outside, and it caught me off guard too.
I mean, it was like you were in standstill, and he just walked on by. I mean, it wasn't even like he was struggling for pace at that point. But I mean, you've had some great pace yourself this season, of course. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, let me double check just so I'm not giving false information. I believe you would have locked yourself in now to a playoff position, being P2 in the championship prior to this race and still getting P2 on the road tonight. What's your strategy now going into those playoffs starting in 2 weeks' time?
I really don't have any idea. I haven't really thought about it that much. I do know I've looked at the schedule, and a couple of those tracks are not really my favorite. So I'm not really looking forward to it.
You think maybe it might have to come down to a bit of lady luck for yourself?
Oh yeah, I'd say it's going to have a lot to do with it for me. At a couple of those, there's a couple of the tracks are okay. The last race, Atlanta, I'm not sure if that's the new Atlanta or the old Atlanta. If it's the new Atlanta, it's definitely going to be just luck.
I believe it is the new Atlanta, from what we've heard.
Yeah, it's going to just be the luck of the draw. And I've only been on that thing 2 or 3 times, and I haven't really had good luck there. So I'm definitely not looking forward to that one.
Well, we look forward to seeing how you go though across those 3 races. It's going to be a wild end to the season, and hopefully you can keep getting yourself some solid points in the stages and even in the end of the races as well. But let us know anyone you want to give a shout out to, Brad. Any sponsors or any friends and family who may be watching. Congratulations though on P2 tonight and what looks to be P2 in the championship after the regular season.
I appreciate it. Thank you all for putting this thing on, and I think Ben maybe that sponsored the race tonight to have it broadcasted. And even though he did beat me, I'll give a shout out to Tad for racing me so clean there. Me and him had a pretty good run together about 20, 30 laps ago. It was pretty fun.
Yeah. Well, you've done an exceptional job this season, Brad. Best of luck in 2 weeks' time in the playoffs. Look forward to seeing how you go and enjoy the week off.
Thank you, fellas.
Thank you. I mention it every week with Jim James. Brad has got the most American accent I've ever heard in my life.
Oh, so placid.
It's phenomenal.
You
It
can read
is
me a
so.
story, I think I would have gone to sleep.
It's a bit like Matthew McConaughey, isn't it? It's just like so
Dude.
like just bit of gravel about it, but smooth at the same time.
Yeah, Goldilocks and the Three Bears, please read me the story. Right, let's have a chat with our winner here today as well. The Corgi Airstrike 120 led for pretty much half the laps that took place. He started in first, finished in first, took the victory as well. Mr. Chad Baird. Chad, welcome in, bud. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you all doing?
I am doing very well, Chad. Thank you so much. I've finally come back and sat and watched you guys go round and round in circles, but it was a great fight in the end. Hey, you were looking strong at the end of the race. I'm going to presume you had fuel and tyres for days, are we?
Well, I had more fuel than most did, I guess. I was clutching it the last, I don't know, almost the whole last run, maybe 20 or 25 laps. I was clutching it going into both turns, and I think I may have had a little less than a quarter of a gallon at the finish. So it was pretty exciting. I've never won a fuel mileage race, so that's check that one off the list.
Yeah, fair play to you, dude, as well. You know, Brad was saying he was trying to save fuel, and you just sort of motored straight past him as if he weren't even there. So fair play to you on that one, and you know, absolutely amazing race out there in general. What do you think's the ambition going forward? You know, for you now, where do you see yourself going from here?
Yeah, I'm not in the championship race or whatever, so I just kind of show up when work allows me to show up. So I don't know. Hopefully, maybe get another win before the end of the season. I feel like I give away about at least 2, maybe 3 earlier in the season, so it was good to get this one. I was convinced that I was going to run out of gas at the end of this and not get this one too. So maybe make up for a few missed opportunities at the end of the season. That's really all I can shoot for.
Yeah, you've only been here for 5 races, 6 including this one. So unfortunately, it's been a little bit of a bummer season for you as well. But let's see how you get on. Jan, anyone you want to shout out before we let you go?
Shout out to, I think Ben is the one who sponsored the race. Shout out to him. Always like racing Ben. He's super clean and respectful. He's a good dude. Just shout out to everybody in the almighty Triple Bypass Racing League. It's the best thing on iRacing. So shout out to you guys. I'll be looking forward to going back and watching it.
Oh, man. Well, listen, dude, you take care. Have a good one, fella, and I'll catch up with you soon.
Yes, sir. Have a good one.
And you, man. There's one more person I want to talk to here as well. We had a brief chat with him at the beginning when we knew he was getting hit. Has he finally got round to open up the rest of the packages? Mr. Al Corey, welcome in.
Hey guys, how you doing? Well, I have good news. The hot dogs have arrived. There was some discrepancy about only buns and a pallet of Dr. Pepper, but apparently a 500-pound package of hot dogs has also been delivered.
Okay, what else was in there for you?
Well, all I can say is hot dogs, buns, and soda.
Okay. Well, I believe there may be some others. Just putting it out there. Maybe slightly aware of a little bit more that may be coming your way. But do you? I initially, when this was put to me, Al, I asked the question why. And the response I got back was just don't mess with the corgis. Do you know why this came your way?
Shenanigans from the Corgi Airstrike Corp. Look, these guys are nuts, and I don't know if there's any rhyme or reason to what they do, but it makes for some good laughs, and we sure enjoy having them. But yeah, I have no idea, James. There's no explanation to this.
No, dude, I got one as well. And funny enough, I got one after talking to you, Al. So
well, that's kind of odd, isn't it?
Well, no, because you've been here as well. I can only feel it may be the fact of we were talking about drivers, weren't we? And we said, is there any drivers that you've had to sort of put the whip into? I think Matt Perezzini and Coop was the other one. So I think we may have got done for mentioning people like that, Al, I'm afraid.
Yeah, that's the power of the internet. You never know how it's going to come back at you.
Yeah, exactly. But listen, dude, how was your race out there? How was your race, Al?
Yeah. Race was actually really good. I enjoyed it. It was very like white knuckle driving near the front there in the top 10. It was really close. I don't know if you guys could tell how close it was on the broadcast, but yeah, it was really tight. And I was set up with an extra set of tires at the end if we got a late caution, but it had the feel of green, so I started fuel saving right from the last yellow, and I was able to just squeak it across the line for 7th, but I know a few guys ran out of gas before they could get there.
Yeah, I would like to say as well that Hamish said it would be good if you got a win, but at the moment he said that, you went from 3rd to 7th in the space of a corner. So I'm sorry about that. You can blame Hamish.
I'm sorry that Al couldn't handle the pressure of being out of
Well, my tires were a little older, and I knew I was going to have to save some fuel. So it just didn't quite work out. But I'm always happy when I get a top 10. You know, I would have liked a top 5, but it was a good race. It was a little cleaner than last week, which was good to see, and there was some really terrific racing.
Yeah, there definitely was. But is there anyone you want to shout out before we let you go?
Oh, not really. Just the normal guys. All my admins. Thank you guys for the broadcasts, and we're real excited. I'm going to be able to meet several of these guys in person next weekend at the Martinsville race. So I'm flying up to Virginia this weekend, and I'm going to meet like 5 or 6 of them, and I'm just really, really pumped to meet some of these guys in person. So that'll be great. I'll make sure I take lots of photos.
If you can pick me up a program and a hat of Danny Hamlin, and then let me know I've got much I've got to send you.
I will do that for you, and we'll make sure to get it to you.
All right, man. Have a good one, Al. We'll speak later.
All right, take care, guys.
Take
Bye-bye.
care, bye. Every season, bro. Like last season as well, there was a friend of mine that went to Martinsville. I was like, dude, you got to put me up a program and a hat for Danny Hamlin. And that's what he said.
Why do you come off as a definite Danny Hamlin fan, James? I mean, it's just that seems like
do you want to know why?
Why?
Because he doesn't care.
Fair.
He doesn't care what people think of him. He doesn't care what people say about him. He doesn't care. And he's got this thing of going to wind up people when he wins as well. The fateful line of "I beat your favorite driver" on an interview is just absolutely epic. And you know the problem is as well, is that's one of the things I would do. I don't care what people say. So I would do exactly the same as Danny Hamlin. I would be there and I'd be like, "I beat your favorite driver," or "I'm better than your favorite broadcaster." You know what I mean? That would be what I would do. Pure arrogance, and I absolutely bloody love it. So that's why I'm a Danny Hamlin fan.
Fair enough. Well, that will bring it in, though, to our running of round 11 of the NicholsOilPros.com series here. The end of the regular season for the Next Gen Cup here at Triple Bypass Series will be away next week for a week off, and then we'll be back for 3 weeks in a row for the playoff series. That top 10, as we said, will get sorted out over the next week, and then we'll properly know, and we'll be able to intro it very effectively leading into the next race, of course. But it's been a fantastic season thus far. We look forward to seeing the next race out on track from the Nichols Oil Pro Series. Appreciate you guys being here with us. Be sure to hit the like button, the subscribe, the bell icon as well, so you're notified whenever we go racing here on JP Broadcasting, with so much more on offer for you for the rest of March, leading into April and the rest of 2025. There's no other place you'd want to be to check out some wonderful sim racing across the world. But I've been Hamish Munro with James Parfitt alongside. Appreciate your time. Appreciate you being here. See you guys next time on JP Broadcasting. Stay safe, drive hard, and as always, bye for now.